Hello everybody, it's Sarah and today I come to you with a 7 on Sunday video. 7 on Sunday was created by Grace from Cheese Whistle and I will leave her channel as well as the Goodreads group link down below if you want some more information on what 7 on Sunday is. But very simply put, each week we got a topic and each week we share 7 books that somehow concern that topic. And this week's topic is our favorite LGBT characters. And I have 7 characters here that I'm very excited to talk about that won't be in any particular order, but I just gonna start with one special character because he is the ultimate gay character that we all know and love, and that is Albus Dumbledore from Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling. I mean, I'm obviously joking, but honestly I just wanted to put this in here to say fuck J.K. Rowling and let's move on. So before we get into my actual 7 characters that I want to talk about, I want to talk about something that I noticed that was very funny to me while I looked at my bookshelves looking for which characters I love most that also are part of the LGBT spectrum. And that is that a lot of times if a book has a very major LGBT romance, I absolutely love the romance, but very often I find the characters kind of forgettable. For example, in The Priory of the Orange Tree, I absolutely love the romance. I love how it's kind of woven into the story. I love the development of the romance. But when it comes to the 2 characters, while I do enjoy both characters and while I think both characters are great characters, I don't really feel any attachment to them. So yeah, that was something that I found kind of interesting to observe while looking for characters on my shelves. Nevertheless, I still found 7 characters that I absolutely love and that are also queer, so let me start sharing them with you. First, I just had to choose this character because this is the first gay character that I ever read about. And that is Daniel from the Black Magicians trilogy by Trudy Canavan, the first book being The Magician's Guild. He's only very much a side character in the first book. He gets a bigger role in the second book as far as I can remember, and he's kind of the best friend of the mentor character of our main character of Sonia. And Daniel, especially in the first book, it's only hinted that he's gay. He's kind of shunned by all the other magicians in this series, and that just really confused me. I was 11 years old when I first read this. I hadn't really heard yet about gay, about LGBT, about anything like that. So I was just confused by the hints that we got to why he was shunned and so on. And then later on it does get more explicit that he's gay and he gets a boyfriend and they're so cute together. So I was just then even more confused because I was like, well, this was what the big deal was about? Why do they hate him just because he's gay? Because I was like an 11-year-old and didn't have judgment yet. I mean, I still don't judge LGBT stuff, but I have judgment concerning other things. And yeah, so that's why I had to put him on this list. Next, another gay character, and that is Patroclus from The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Patroclus is the most precious being ever. I love him so much. We get this story told from his point of view. And I just love how much he loves Achilles, even though Achilles isn't the greatest person ever. And he's just so sweet and innocent and well-meaning. And oh my god, he's just such a precious being and one of my little babies. And I adopted him and just... that's all I can say about him really. But I just had to put him on this list anyway. Next, I have Hypnos from The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chokshi. And he's another one of those characters that's just my baby. I'm not even sure anymore if he's gay or if he's bisexual. I cannot remember. I think he might have been bisexual. But he's just such a snarky little baby and I love him. I'm so excited for the Silvered Serpents. I hope we get to see more of him in book 2 because I definitely didn't get enough of Hypnos in this book right here. Next, I have the one, the only, the fabulous Magnus Bane. Because he's Magnus Bane. I don't think there's gonna be many of these lists of people who have read the Shadowhunter Chronicles where Magnus Bane isn't on that list, isn't on a list of favorite LGBT characters, because he's Magnus Bane. He's this ancient bisexual warlock who cares so much, who constantly adopts little Shadowhunters everywhere, and who finally finds love in this series, and it's just so beautiful, and I love Magnus to bits. He's probably my favorite character in the entire series, which is why it makes me so happy that he pretty much appears in every single one of the series. So yeah, I just love him so much. Continuing on with bisexual characters, I have Mia Corvair from Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. She is just kick-ass and amazing, and I love how casual her bisexuality is. It's just really nice to get a bisexual character, to get a bisexual main character in a high fantasy series that doesn't focus on romance at all. And it's just something that we get very rarely, at least I haven't really seen that many series so far that do this. I mean, I could have also put Ash on this list, but I think I like Mia a little bit more than Ash. I mean, I love Ash, but I think Mia is Mia, you know? She's just Mia. She's kick-ass and she's amazing and she's snarky. And I love her. She is in a way a very tropey standard YA main character, although this isn't a YA series, but she still reminds me of a YA main character. But yet for some reason I don't find her annoying, but I really love her and appreciate her, and she has scenes that are just masterpieces in this series, and yeah, so I definitely had to put her on this list. Next, another female bisexual character is Irene Winters from the Invisible Library series by Genevieve Cogman. This is the first time, even though I have read books with bisexual characters before, that I felt represented in my sexuality in a series when I read it. And I just love it because her sexuality isn't very much the focus of the book at all. In fact, I think there might be people out there who will completely miss it just because they want to miss it, because romance until book 4 isn't really a thing in this series at all. And you just get hints of her sexuality from her talking about past liaisons with mostly women, and also kind of in the way her interactions with women are written about, at least in my opinion. However, the main romance is still with a guy, and that's also just something that you don't see a lot of times, a bisexual character that still is allowed to be in a heterosexual romance and it doesn't take away from their sexuality in the least. I feel like a lot of times there's kind of this stigma of bisexuality only being valid if the bisexual person is in a same-sex relationship or same-gender relationship, and that's just not something that I agree with. And just for some reason the way Irene's sexuality was not described, in fact, in this book just really resonated with me and with my experiences, and so that's why I really wanted to have her on this list. Then I have a quick honorary mention before I go into my final spot on this list, but again, it's not really in order. I just wanted to put the honorary mention here. Who cares? But that is Carla from The Black Jewels by Anne Bishop. And Carla is an asexual character. I mean, it's not really confirmed, but I'm still like 99% sure she's asexual, because it is mentioned multiple times throughout the books that she is not interested in that way in men. She isn't sexually interested in men. However, later on in the series, after the 3rd book, we are told that she started a family with a man and by adopting a daughter. However, we are also told that they aren't like in a romantic relationship or in a sexual relationship in any way, she and the guy. And so I think it's pretty much confirmed that she's asexual. And yeah, I just really appreciate Carla. I love Carla. Carla is one of my favorite characters in the series, but as I said, she's so minor that I kind of feel like I only can put her on here as an honorary mention. And the last spot on this list goes to Chi from The Hand, the Eye and the Heart, which is a Mulan retelling with a genderqueer, non-binary main character. We're not really told what they identify as specifically, however, it's not really important in the story. We're just told that while Chi was raised as a daughter, after they kind of dress up as a man to join the army, they aren't comfortable as a girl anymore. However, they also don't feel comfortable when they're talked to as if they are a man or a guy or a boy or whatever. So yeah, that's kind of where this book ends. However, while I do think that this book kind of goes through the questioning of Chi and through them trying to figure out their identity a little bit. I don't think that it's the end of the road for them yet at the end of the book, and it's just a bit open-ended what exactly they feel. But in general, I just really appreciated the way the identity of G was handled in this book. I really appreciated a lot of the struggles they went through in this book. Of course, I'm not an authority on saying this is well done representation or not, and also this is not an own voices book. I feel the need to say that. However, I still can just say that I personally appreciated it. So yeah, think of that what you will. And that was it for my favorite LGBT characters. Of course, there are plenty more, but those are just my 7/8 favorite of them all. If you enjoyed this video, maybe think about giving me a thumbs up and also maybe subscribing. Tell me in the comments down below who your favorite LGBT characters are, and if you love some of those characters that I just talked about as much as I do. In the description box down below, I have all the links to my social media, and I also still have all the Black Lives Matter stuff, as always, linked down below. And with that said, I hope I'll see you soon. Bye!